Hello, everybody, and today is March 10th, 2008, and welcome to Enjoy the Movies, where I, Nam, put in my 2 cents about movies. Now, last couple of episodes that I put up, all last week I didn't watch any movies because I went home for vacation and didn't get a chance to watch any. So I made up for it today, watched 5 movies. I'm only going to be talking about 3 of them today. But they're all new ones, and unlike the last couple episodes where I said it was going to be out that week, it's actually going to be coming out this week for real. Not like, oh, I thought it was going to come out last week and then it came out a week later or whatever. So this time it's correct. Anyway, so big movies that I'm going to be talking about today that I actually watched earlier today. Pretty much, I spent all day watching movies. So Atonement, Dan in Real Life, and No Country for Old Men. Now, a lot of these titles, Atonement and No Country for Old Men, they were mentioned a bunch in the Academy Awards, I'm sure, a few weeks ago. However, I'm not actually a huge fan of award shows. I really don't care what, most people think about movies. I think, honestly, what I like is the statistics. So it's like, oh, this many people likes it, that many people likes it, and that's pretty much all I care about. Because, at some point, there's some marginally large number where you're going to be like, oh man, all these people love this movie. So, if you fall into that category of the majority, you're probably going to like it. If not, whatever. So, alright, anyway, so let's just jump right in and start with Atonement. Now, I don't remember seeing any trailers about this movie, and I wasn't really at all interested in it. However, after I started watching it, it seems to me that it was just going to be a drama movie. And maybe, a drama movie with love and all that fun crap. But when I started watching it, it actually was not about that. I want to say that the subject matter, I can't quite put my finger on it, but it was more or less like, okay, it opens up with this young girl. She writes a script for a play, screenplay, and basically somehow is involved in the lives of these 2 other people who are in love. And at some point, there's some plot twist where she kind of lies to other people about the status of their relationship or something, and I can't really quite describe it further than that without giving anything away. However, the movie itself, I want to say, was only okay. Here's what I think, honestly. The movie itself is very slow. It's very boring, unengaging. Nothing actually goes on in the movie, in my personal opinion, except for these very pivotal events. But pacing was terrible. It's very slow, and I swear they could have made the movie better just by cutting a lot of random scenes. And I won't lie, while watching the movie, it seems like they took a lot of liberties with panning the camera across nature scenes, which I can understand or appreciate if you like nature, but I didn't really want to see it for this movie. So I felt that it didn't have that much relevance, and I don't know, maybe it was more of a stylistic thing, but I forgot to mention it takes place in like old England or something. I don't remember. It didn't sink in really. So overall, Atonement, it's like on par with those movies. If you've ever seen these other movies, it has the same pacing as like Babel, Syriana, Constant Gardener, All the King's Men. Like honestly, all these movies, I pretty much don't really like any of those movies, maybe except for Constant Gardener. That was actually really well done, and but anyway, I'm not talking about that movie. But the other ones, slow, boring. I actually couldn't even make it through All the King's Men. So if you guys ever want to try watching that, I turned it off after like 25 minutes. It was ridiculous. But anyway, so Atonement, I want to say it was an okay movie. The story itself is actually really solid, and I want to say the premise, it was actually a very good idea. I didn't like how they went about doing it because of the sheer depth of drama and just how ridiculous it went into detail with all these details that don't really matter. Or at least I feel it doesn't really matter. Like the details with the cinematography and stuff, that's all nice and all, but I'd rather you focus more on the characters. So Atonement, okay. Just if you really like films that are slow and dramatic, by all means go and watch it, but don't worry about it otherwise. So alright, next movie I want to talk about is Dan in Real Life. Now when I'd seen this trailer in the theater, it stars Steve Carell and Dane Cook. And oddly enough, Dane Cook once again plays a not quite so funny role. I mean, there's some funny parts in the movie, but he does a pretty good job. Anyway, so Steve Carell, he's basically this single man, and he has 3 daughters. He goes off to the family for, like, I guess their yearly family reunion or something. And a lot of drama ensues. But basically, if you ever saw the trailer, you pretty much know that he goes off to some bookstore, meets this wonderful girl, and, because he hasn't been in love for who knows how long. But he meets this wonderful girl, and he comes back to the house and tells everybody how he met this nice girl, and, he'll probably never see her again, unless, he calls her because he got her phone number. But, as it turns out, one of the brothers of his has a girlfriend, and it turns out that she is that girl. So, that's where the interesting part comes in. Now, I want to say that this movie has an extraordinarily large number of awkward scenes, so if you don't like awkward scenes, you might not want to put yourself through it, because they are very, very awkward. Now, Dan in real life, they actually take some time. It's a little bit slower paced than I thought it was going to be, but they take time to develop characters very well. They throw in, a few jokes here and there to keep you going, so I don't feel that there are too many scenes that were too long and drawn out unnecessarily. Like, some of them were a little bit longer than you'd like them to be, but I felt that it was okay for what content they had in there. Dialogue was clean, believable, because, like, some of the things that stood out in my mind were, like, the 3 daughters of, Steve Carell's character. They all sounded like younger girls, like teenage girls, and one of them's, I think, like, younger than 10 years old, so that worked out pretty nicely. And as I said, Dane Cook did a very good job playing in a fairly serious role. What this movie reminded me of while I was watching it, because it's a family reunion type setting, it reminded me of Wedding Crashers. It was actually very comparable in many scenes, except without the funny wedding crashing or the boobs. So, I think it's actually a more serious version of something like that. Although it is marketed as a comedy, I feel that it's comedy drama. It's not too different than some of those other comedy dramas out there. Like, I think the closest thing that I remember, it's Family Stone. That's it. That was the movie I was trying to think of. But it has a lot of drama, and it has a little bit of comedy, but not much. But it compares very much to that. Now, I think most people thought it was supposed to be a general comedy. I feel that it's more of a romantic comedy with drama, with awkward situation drama. And, other than that, it's a very solid movie. It's very good. It's very well done.